Alright. Welcome to the Monday evening almost stream. I'm your host, Parflon39, and today I'm kicking off the solo D&D. The solo D&D again, to which may as well kick it off now a little bit. You call this the primer of sorts. I'm not sure when the next time I'll be streaming D&D will be, because upcoming I'm going to be... Well, I'm not going to be streaming. I'm going to be, I'll be visiting my family. This upcoming week and the like. So, yeah, there's that. Give me a sec to just do a few things real quick. Alright. So, let's do a quick recountance and recap of where our last session and arc ended, because I actually had a lot of stuff planned out a bit, but because of certain things and time constraints, and me wanting to get something out before the end of the year, I kind of sort of rushed it a little bit. So if that's why it seemed like a bit hasty, that's legit the actual reason. That said, so that being said though, give me a sec to pull up, not the adventure, but at the very least the resources I'm gonna need. As well as a little bit of the adventures of Faerun as well, now I'm thinking about it. So, Adventures of Faerun, and particularly the DMG, along with the... Where's the monster? Monster manual. There it is. Alright. So right now, I don't have everything completely set up right now, and along with that, my desktop is a complete and utter mess. So, one moment as I get everything organized. So currently, to recount after our last session, Rex had come face to face with the Rouet family. The Rouet family, as they were bandits. He had offered his services to the twins that were effectively bandits at that point. They declined, as they can assume and know that they robbed him after offering their services. To which Rex and his at the time partner Venna would have actually, his at the time partner Venna, who is still in some way his partner, would actually fight off the Rouet banditry. To which Rex would most certainly demonstrate and showcase that they, while despite being outnumbered, they certainly outclassed them. And though it may have taken some time to beaten them all and likely kill them, suffice it to say, they would not have survived the encounter. That being said, after the fact, after the Rouet family accepted Rex's terms and services, to which he would try to restore their noble family name in exchange of taking vengeance on the Eomanes, Rex would try to investigate in the Eomanes along with Venna, to which they would find that they owned that the Eomanes owned some land but have been neglecting and not taking care of them. It wouldn't be until that a servant of theirs would offer an invitation to them for a party that they're hosting, to which, as they arrived at the Eomane's estate, two other characters and party members, a character who was once known as Iris, however, I'm going to call a different name now because this is my chance of doing a light retcon as, this is my chance to do a light retcon, because I actually had a few things planned out, but I had a different idea over the course of time, so now this is my chance to do retcons and, slight changes, in which I should actually change Venna's name, because it sounds kind of close to Vecna. So, real quick, Iris, who was the druid that was in the last session, is now going to be renamed. Let me see. Leanna. There we go. Her name is going to be Leanna, and Venna is actually going to be. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll just go with something straight and simple. Just call her Veronica. Because why not? Well, actually, no. I have a different idea. We'll go with... Yeah, actually, I got a better one. Monica. Yeah, that sounds kind of atypical compared to all the other names I got. I got, like, Xander. I got, Jiro. I got, Rex. So, a Leanna and a Monica. Whatever. They're not going to be that relevant for this session right now anyway. Yeah. Rex with Monica, who was once known as Venna, but I'm now changing the name a bit. Again, light retcon and all that jazz. Leanna and alongside Jiro would arrive, however, they wouldn't understand why they were being invited. Rex and Monica would gauge and assess that because they were looking into the Eomanes that they were invited, to which they would see that as the invitation stated, a party was going on, in which there would be all sorts of nobles, some catering that was trying to be found, and Leanna would have had some time would have offered to explore with Rex, to which they would have mostly just saw how relatively mundane the house was, until they reached the gardens, in which they would have encountered a ghost of the former owner of the Eomane's estate, who still owns it, Felmber Dellis, who I have actually stated in the info lore dump with the Rue family, was once upon a time a friend of the Rue family, however fell out of contact mostly because of him being dead. Felmber would have demanded and called for vengeance, to which he promised to Rex, as well as Leanna, as well as by proxy the rest of the party, whoever kills the Eomanes can lay claim to his estates, and manor. To which, at that point, as Rex and Leanna would be leaving, the Eomanes would effectively seal the entirety of the estate, having a giant ward and circle encompass the house to prevent anyone escaping, and begin and declare that this party and their offerings are for Baal, to which various nobles would be slaughtered, killed, and butchered on the spot. Rex, Leanna, Monica, and Jiro would effectively flee and would find a place to hide and flee, to which the Eomanes would be slowly but surely executing anyone who would be hiding. They managed to find refuge in an armory, to which they had found all sorts of magical gears and items that were left behind, by Dellis, and possibly collected by the Eomanes for all the people they've been killing. To which Rex would also find that Rex and the party would find a guard that I will now retcon would be someone that served Dellis. That was a way serving Dellis. However, found out the true nature of the Eomanes and narrowly survived, as he was a prior hireling, and would explain to them the situation as well as a way to escape. However, with the rooftop being warded off and unable to escape from there, the only way to escape and break free was to kill the Eomanes, to which Rex and the party would eventually face off against the Eomanes slowly, one by one. only leaving behind two for last, to which those two would have been Trentelar, the leading the leading head of the Eomanes, as well as his sister Della Adria, who had a pet barbed devil. The battle between the previous Eomanes, to which would have been Nicene and Rosaria, would have ended rather swiftly and quickly, as Nicene wasn't exactly a full-on fit assassin and more or less a sadistic torturer, and Rosaria would have just more or less relied on her summons and imps. Trenteller and Doladara, however, would have actually been legitimate threats and menaces to the party because of the Barbed Devil and them being more, I guess, for lack of a better word, within the purview of murder. As the Eomanes were finally slain and Dallas had given what was promised, Rex specifically would have been, I guess, for lack of a better word, sort of grabbed on by Trenteller, as despite everything, he was barely clinging on to life. However, Trenteller would call out to Rex and declare him Slaughterkin, to which that'll be a threat for a later time. But as he smiles and looks at Rex, would pretty much leave the impression and pretty much kill himself by ripping out his guts that were already hanging out there. Afterwards, after this sordid affair, the party with deed in hand came forward about the truth of the Eomanes, as well as laying claim to the Dallas estates and restoring the Rue family. Baldur's Gate's magistrates, of course, would run an investigation, to which the Eomanes would be completely ousted as Baal worshippers, and along with that, because the deed had only covered the estate and manor, the party would have been granted that piece of property, as well as the Rue family, despite being claimed to be devil worshippers. Because of what happened with the Eomanes and because evidence showed that they were sabotaged, they would have been restored to nobility on a probationary period, but nevertheless restored, and any property they had, at the very least their own home, would have been returned back to them as it was held by the state, by the governments of Baldur's Gate. So, that is our catch-up from the last session, to which, now, with the new session being in effect now, to which I think this is now session 6? No, session 7, okay. Alright, so now that this is session 7 of me playing this live, to which, as this is now effectively a new tier, and now with everything being added and the like. So right now, I'm currently actually reworking a few things, as well as the fate table as well. The fate table will still remain as is, however, we'll have a few new additions, as well as a few new revisions as well. Alright, so before I was running this as a straight linear narrative setting, now I'm reworking and revising this to be instead a full-on a full-on sandbox a little bit, as I've kind of sort of wanted to try and explore more things. And with certain things being written out, like for example, with minor feats of fate, granting features and the like, it feels more or less necessary that I should facilitate a sandbox approach. To which, let me see here. I would say after the events of what happened here, 2 months of downtime would be granted. To which I'm not gonna roleplay all that happens. Alright, so, yeah. To which I am not going to roleplay every single thing that happened. So yeah, as you can see here, I've done some light retconning for the 2 characters that I had with me. To which, this will be primarily focusing on Rex specifically. So, we have gone from using Milestone to now fully and effectively XP progression instead. So now, I can pretty much do whatever it is I want at that point. Yeah. So, 2 months granted, in which I can now do more stuff now that I'm tier 2 and now that I've opened up the barriers a bit. Alright, so we have 2 months to play around with some stuff. So, I would say, because of, again, the granting of the Bastion as well as some other features, I'm just going to take some quick notes real quick. There we go. Level progression and greater rewards authorized. Alright, so now that this is tier 2, I can now choose to enable level progression. To which, I'm not gonna just, focus on that entirely. The Bastion does require some level of maintenance attached to it. To which, let me, let's see here. Let's do some quick read through of like all these things. To which, let me see here. Would it be narration, I think? Narration, examples, and all that. Ah, there we go. Character advancement. So, let's see here. Non-combat, milestone. Alright. So, awarding XP, to which, let's see. Training to get levels. In which, let's see, I could dedicate some time. I do have some money, to which the training cost could theoretically cover 1 level for that. So, while serving the Bastion, I could do that. Give me a sec to think off the top of my head right now, because I do want to use XP, but at the same time, I want to try and use other variants of leveling. So, for the span of 20 days, I can expand and further my level. However, it says here that it's just cost 40 GP for the whole bulk of it, but I'm not going to go off of that, so I'm just going to assume that's per day, to which that's going to be 800 gold pieces. So, with that time span accounted for, I have 165. So, in this downtime, I'm going to declare Rex will do some adventure. Alright, no, not adventure, but contract work and take on bounty quests for a month. dividing the time by half. Alright, dividing the time by half of the month. 15 per day. Alright, so doing work and quest. Alright, so now that I've done that, now it's just for the contract work, what I'm gonna do is contract work will be transcribing arcane scrolls and transcribing and translating arcane scrolls. So let me see. Alright, so because this is tier 2 right now, give me a sec to just quickly. Here we go. So now that this is tier 2 right now, so let's see what dice would be suitable for tier 2. I would say for the work that Rex is doing, it is going to be worth 1d10. So this will be per day, so that means 15 d10s. And I'm going to multiply it because it is going by tier. Because he's not tier 1 anymore, he's tier 2, so he's got like some renown, and because he ousted the Eomanes, he's got that notoriety with him. So actually I should probably put that down. I'm just gonna do this by that. There we go. Sorry, there we go. So, general reputation +2. So, because he's now tier 2, and along with that, he set a name for himself by ousting the Eomanes. So, this is what I'm doing. So, it's gonna be D10 plus. Oh, wait. So, yeah. So, D10 times 2. Oh, give me a sec. Yeah, no, I think that should be right, I think. Yeah, let's do it per day, because, yeah. So, yeah, so, alright. So, whatever this number is, it's just going to go up, but the time 2 is still going to remain, so, yeah. So, you know, I should also probably account for quality of work. So, plus. So, I'm not going to do multiply, but I am going to, because. Let me see. Let's try this equation real quick. Times skill times skill. Times skill divided by 5. So at minimum it's gonna be so at minimum it's gonna be like 1. Alright, so now that we got that settled, I think. So, real quick, roll for Arcana, because this is what I'm doing. So, rolling for Arcana. Okay. So, this is divided by 5, to which I'm not going to actually divide it by 5. Well, actually, maybe I should. Let me see. Obviously, I'm gonna get like a point decimal there, so that's obviously not gonna, work out. But let's see what I get. 5.6. So I guess I'm really trying to think because my idea was effectively just to like go off of like pretty much break it down to 5. So I guess this would technically be zero point 0.6, so it's above the 5 threshold. So I am gonna maybe round it up to 6. So that would pretty much dictate quality. 15d10 times 2 times 6. Because it is pretty much high quality work. So let's see. Alright, so let's roll 15d10s now. Let's see here. 65. Alright. 65 times 2 times that by 6. Damn, alright. Alright, yeah, I guess, yeah. Alright, yeah, I guess it works out a bit. I mean, it's a bit unorthodox, but still. Alright, so yeah, so that's what I got for doing the arcane transcribing work. Before I would say it was just straight, scribe work, but this is like now more specific towards arcane. And because it's now like arcane, it's now like actual quality of work involved. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess that works a bit. So give me a sec and just make sure I got stuff. So let me real quick check the Bastion. Right now the Bastion isn't actually being used as like a full-on like autonomous thing, so to speak. Currently the Bastion as a ruling is more or less just serving as a player home right now. So real quick, let me just check here about the Bastions. So the Bastion currently is not being used, so used as like anything particular right now. But let me see. What can I invest with? Yeah, because right now I have no idea how. I'm just gonna assume it's like standard stuff. Whatever the stock is. Yeah, so basic facility. Let's see here. 2 free basic facilities, and one of them will be cramped, the other roomy. So the basic facility will just be effectively a bedroom, I guess. And then the other one will be, pretty much, one of them will just pretty much just be this, alright? So the house will have all this by default. However, then there's like one room where it's actually, like, I could actually have facilities in, to which I can only have 2 special facilities at this level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can get a facility. What can I get at this level right now, and how much is it going to cost? Because I think an arcane study might be worthwhile, but at the same time. Let's see here. Arcane study. Arcane study focus. Gain magical charm. Long rest in your Bastion. Craft option. Book. Magical item Arcana. Okay. Then there's like a few other stuff as well. Yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, sorry, right now I'm literally just putting together and figuring out what it is I'm doing right now. So because this is more or less a home, so to speak, the Bastion won't be fully whatever. So, alright, so I'll say, because this was pre-built and pre-whatever to everything, let me see here. Give me a sec, because apparently I could get like some stuff that's like temporary for like 7 days. Let me see. Alright, yeah. You know what? For the most part, I'm just going to ignore the Bastion for the time being, because there's a lot of stuff that I do want to go into, but currently, it's for this session specifically, I'm not going to be able to do it. Alright, so this is the amount of GP I got, because let me see. Yeah, this looks like the world's elaborate math problem where it's more or less you trying to read this shit. Alright, so now that the first part is now done. Alright, so now we're getting into more heady territory where you need to now... Well, I'm going to be doing some other stuff right now, so real quick, let me see. Where's my Mythic GM emulator, damn it? Alright, so... Let's see here. The bounty quest in question. Let me see. Where is my selector, so to speak? Alright, let's see here. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for, I think. So, let's see here. Elements. Alrighty, I'm literally going through these right now. So, we're just gonna go off. So, for these bounty quests, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll off of the meaning elements of the GM emulator I'm using. So, because this is bounty quest, I'm gonna go with adventure tone, character, and character action general. Alright, so let's see here. 3 D100s, let's go. After that, I'll determine I'll figure it out from there a little bit. Alright, so, adventure tone. Alright, adventure tone. 93. Tension. Okay. 93, tension. Character. 64. Multiple. 79. For general, punish. Okay. So we got our bounty quest now. I'm gonna, let me see. With these... Alright, so I'm gonna pretty much write a quick spiel about this. So, adventure tone, tension, character, multiple, and then character action is the punish. So, let me think. With these meanings in mind, there is a standoff at the front. Yes, there's a standoff at the front Arms Inn outside of Baldur's. There's a standoff at the Friendly Arms Inn on the road to Baldur's Gate. It's been going on for days and is driving off business. Would pay gold to remove these individuals and from property and would pay gold to remove these individuals from property and let me think. What else? Have them pay their tab. I'll throw this in here. Bonus gold to do inciting a fight or Alright, so I'm gonna go, because this is an actual bounty quest where it's a bit more. Alright, so it's a bit more like this. So let me see here. Because it's a bounty quest, 1d12 is my standard. Times by tier. And yeah, sure, because this is specifically asking for a skill check. So, quality skill check divided by 5 GP divided by 5 gold piece per day. Well, actually, no, this isn't going per day, because unlike contract work where it's like, I work for a certain amount of time, this time is going to be per. Alright, so, yeah, no, let's go with per day actively involved. To which it's not likely going to be. To which the quality skill check, I will say, will pretty much dictate how quickly this is and can only go to a max of 7. Alright, so yeah, maximum of 7 days. Alright, so, this will also, so yeah. Alright, so, because this is a standoff and it's demanding specifically to break the standoff and, I'm going to roll persuasion for this scenario. To which I'll get into more of the calculations later, as I go along with this. 17. So, 17. Let's do. Obviously, it's going to be 3. That's the multiplier. But let's see if it's. I think it's probably just on the mark of being like below, or maybe below reaching that. Yeah, give me a sec. 17 divided by 5. 3.4, so it's just going to be a straight 3 modifier, and it's going to take 3 days to defuse the situation. I would divide it further, but it doesn't seem worth it if it's going to be a maximum of 7 days. So let's just go with that. Let's see, 3d12 times 2 times... times 3, in which I'm going to punch in 17. Alrighty, so let's see here how much I get from the d12s now. 3 d12s. So let's see, that's 28, in which now... Let's see, that 28 times 2 is 56, and times that by 3, 168. That was not worth the work put into it, I guess. Well, then again, it was more or less diffusing. And, oh, that's right, there is a bonus that was involved in it, in which I'm gonna roll, because of the days spent on it, I'm gonna throw in 3d10, and I'm just gonna multiply it by 2 instead. So that's 9, so 18. What the hell? No. Alright, so plus 3d10. New total GP, and let me see, it's 18, so 16. 176. Oh, wait, no, hold on. It's 186. Apologies, I forgot to carry the 10. Alright, so it's a 186, so yay! Oh, excuse me. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, that's right. Because this is a bounty quest, fuck. I'm now coming up with rules off the top of my head right now, so I'm not gonna lie about that. But because this is downtime activity, and because specifically the bounty quests are active and doing stuff, I will say these will count towards XP, to which I will roll... I'm gonna roll a D... Because it's 3 days expended, 3d10 times 2. So let's see here. 207. Alright. Whoops. Yay, okay, so. Alright, so 3d100s times 10 equals to... equal to 414 that I got. So, yay! 414 XP rewarded, guys. Alrighty. 414. Apply. Yeah! Look at that! We're going places, guys. We're going places. Are we almost there yet? Alrighty. Okay, so we still have the rest of the few days we got, so another bounty quest. I'm gonna go with the same parameters again, so I'm not gonna change it up too much. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's see. What do we got now? So, that's 3 D100s. Go! Let's see here. 81. Rare. 50. Let's see. Hurt. 8. Bestow. Ooh, okay. So, rare, hurt, bestow. Okay. That's a bit more interesting. Let's see here. So quick spiel again. Oh, shit, I just realized. I used the wrong there. There we go. Yes, I know, I'm not... I'm a grammar person, okay? I'm a little ashamed of myself that I didn't catch that sooner. Fuck. Alright, anyway. Alright. Alright, bounty quest. Pilgrims of Ilmater. Pilgrims of Ilmater are... Pilgrims of Ilmater are looking to make a travel south toward the borders of the land of intrigue, Am. They request protection. As they minister their practices and... They request protection as they minister their practices and... to whomever... Alrighty. So... okay, so, let's see here. For this specifically, again, it's gonna be, like I said, the 1d12. 1d12 times 2, which is my current tier. Quality skill check. Divided by 5. GP per days actively involved. In this case, the maximum is only up to, as this is pretty much almost rounding, as this pilgrimage is likely going to take a while, up to Nishkal, I will nominate the fact that this will take upwards to the full remainder of the days, to which I think it's like 12 days remaining. So that's what I'm going to use. If I get lower than that, then that's great, but, you know, whatever. Alright, so let's see here. So this is a protection mission, to which... let me think off the top of my head. Survival is definitely going to be the skill used. To which I should probably mark down which skills I used respectively for this. Let me see here. Skill used last was... Skill used, Persuasion. And then after that, skill used, Arcana. skill used in this case will be survival, to which the minimum I can only be granted is a 1. To which survival, go. Dirty 20. Okay. So, let me see here. This is a bit more complicated, as I'll say... This is a bit more complicated because I do want to try and use the days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply... no, I don't want to artificially inflate up the numbers a bit, but at the same time... Yeah, I don't want to artificially inflate the numbers a bit, because... I don't know how to calculate travel time too well, if I'm being honest. To which... If he's coming back to Baldur's Gate... Because of this, I'm going to say 8 days elapsed. So, we'll just go off of that. 8d12 times 10 times 4, which is 20. Let me see if I'm doing my calculation correctly. Alright, so yeah. There's no bonus for this, so this is just gonna be straight how much work is done. So I guess if there is gonna be travel time between Baldur's Gate and Ishkal, then it's probably gonna be the actual full 12 days with the group. However, with specifically the survival role, I would This is complicated for me a little bit because I'm trying to figure out. Actually, instead of maximum 12 days, I'm going to do the opposite. So, which... Suspected 12 days. Travel. So, I'm going to cut... So, this is pretty much me cutting down the travel time in exchange for a higher multiplier. So that's where it's coming in now. So that's what I'm going to go with. So it's going to be 8d12, right? 8d12s. 64 times that by 2. I believe that should come out to 128 if I'm not mistaken. So 64 times 2. Yeah, 128. Let me see here. So that's going off of that. Yeah, and then times 4 because of the quality of work involved. So that's 512 gold pieces rewarded. There we go. Alrighty. Yay! Look at that. Alright, there we go. Situation was diffused and tabs were paid along with egos saved for the time being. Whoops. Alright, there we go. So, let's see here. Sorry. Alright, so there we go. Alrighty, yeah! 8 days expended, in which another... That'll be 8d100s, times that by 2, so let's see what we get. Ooh, that is miserable for a d100 roll. Well, in either case, let's see here. So that's 243 times 2, so that's like, what, 486, I think? Yep. Alrighty, 486. Yay! Are we almost there yet, guys? We're halfway there! We're halfway there! My goodness! Alright, so... Okay, so let me see here. Resolution. Alrighty. Alrighty, yay! Apologies if this isn't exciting right now. This is me, like, doing a lot of, like, paper pushing and the like, because I'm using downtime and all that jazz. So, alright. So, yeah, this is right now what it looks like for downtime activity. It's gonna be a lot of, like, punching numbers and, like, doing random math and rolling stuff every now and then for skills. So this is pretty much what I got, in which I'm gonna add the GP now. I'm gonna add the GP reward. So let me see here. So the first reward was, give me a sec. First reward was 780. So that means, so yeah, like I said, contract work doesn't give rewards. So that's what I'm gonna go with. And let's see, 186, and then 512. All right, nice. All right. While this is going on, I would say that, like, let me see. I don't think I have rations on hand, do I? Oh, I do. Okay. Shit. Alright, I do have rations. Alright. Fuck. So, I would say if, like, half that time was being spent in the city, instead I'm gonna use whatever my... Yeah, so real quick, I gotta account for expenditures. So, living expense. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with what this character is very much like, what the living conditions he's with is. Modest. So, 1 GP, so that means. So it's been, because particularly he's just been doing, this is downtime and he's had a lot of time to maintain his gear. I would say that specifically while in the city, yeah, so while specifically in the city, he will have to pay the expenditure, to which the 15 GP has been removed. Alright. And then afterwards, anything outside of that, because the rations are now whatever. So that's 15 days of rations. Now, hold on, actually. If it's not 15 days, but rather 3 days. Give me a sec. So 3 days plus 8. So that's 11. So yeah, I'll say that 11 rations were used. So give me a sec. So if I had 18, so 8, 1, 2, 3. So all right, there we go. 7 rations remain on hand. Alright, so now that that's been squared away a bit. Okay, so let's see here. Alright. I'm going to, now that... Alright, so I'm going to close the distance a bit. Alright. A moment. Alright, so 1 month of... Alright, so yeah, I got 1 month of downtime remaining, in which... let me see here. Crap. Blah. Where did I leave the leveling tools? Where is the... Oh, here it is. Character advancement. So 20 days of training time, 40 gold pieces will be per day. So with this in mind and the fact I'm using XP progression, let me see here. So obviously I could probably shave off like, that doesn't seem right. Give me a sec. So right now, how much XP did I earn? So full 14 as well as... So full 14 plus 46, 900, and I will divide that by 2, so that's 450. No, that doesn't seem right at all either. Sorry, I'm trying to... Oh wait, no, I got a better idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretty much gonna... Okay. Alright. Okay, so, Give me a second, I'm gonna do some nice. Alright, yeah, no. So, yeah, so currently, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pay the full expense of the 800 because it's currently, it says training cost is 40. So I'm gonna assume that it's multiplying by 20, so that brings it up to 800, and this is per level. Alrighty, yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's what's gonna happen then, I guess. So, set level 6. Apply, but I will also maintain the 900 that was earned on top of that, so... Yeah, so, alright. This looks modestly okay, I think. Hopefully. Yay! Alrighty, yay! Give me a sec, I think I gotta manually set the level now. Oh my goodness, guys, I got extra attack! Okay. So 800 GP. Alright, so 800 GP has been removed, in which that's how much I got, as well as pretty much Alright, so got 10 days remaining, in which I think we could probably just end it off there and just cut it a bit short. So, the downtime days are not going to stack with each other, I don't think, but I will probably say, yeah, no, just, they're not going to stack, but I will say that they remain. So, why not? Alright, yeah. Okay, yeah, look at that then. Okay, so now that now I'm level 6, guys. Do I get a new spell? I'm curious, actually. Do I get a new spell? I do. Okay, nice. Yes. Alrighty. Oh boy. Okay, so what do I got right now? Because I have like a few things I got. Non-detection. What? Oh, hides from divination. Okay. Sending, summon undead. Saloon's Viper. Grants temporary HP. I get climb speed. What? Oh, but it ends early if I don't have any more of these things. Okay. Tongues. Okay. Okay, got some stuff I could possibly... Actually, I know what I'm going to do with those remaining downtime days then, because if I'm not mistaken, the way spell... Let me double check, because I do want to learn if I'm level 6 at this point, I can actually... Like I said, I don't want to have to have extra downtime days in reserve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I could try and learn a spell, which I gotta remember. I really should try and remember. Copying a spell. 2 hours and 100 GP. Okay, so it's hours. So, yeah, no, that could work. Yeah, no, just dedicated day, I guess, or something. Yeah, no, just dedicated day of researching and all that. But for the time being, for my current choice of because I leveled up, I already have Fireball, I think, right? Yeah. Let me see. What would be useful for the... let's go with Sion's Viper. To which Spectral Snake. Spell slot above 3, gain an additional, and as well as damage from the venomous bite increases by 1d6. So, okay, that's pretty interesting. Alright. Spell book. Okay, yeah, that's actually pretty interesting, if I'm being honest. It lasts for an hour, but yeah. Okay, so let me see. To study another level 3 spell, though, I may as well just knock this down, I guess, because I do want to try and learn more spells because I got the money for it now. Let's see here. What is going to be relatively modestly useful? Lightning bolt. Sure, why not? Alright, there we go. Just gotta shave off, what was it, 150 I think, because it's level 3. So 150 GP remove. There we go. And that took most of my day anyway, so may as well. Alright, so for this one particularly, I'm gonna say there's no trigger, there's no reason for it. It's just me now thinking of it because I do want to implement a new idea, so to speak, into it. As Rex is in his bastion. So as Rex is in his bastion in Baldur's Gate, the Delis estate. I'm gonna say that it was Liliana or Leanna. Let's see. Sorry, give me a second. I just got something. Alright, apologies. I just got something coming on my phone. Anyway, so Leanna comes in with So as Rex is in his bed. Potentials. Leanna comes in with as in her hands is a contract for the aid of a As Rex is in his bastion in Baldur's Gate, the Delos estate, reading potential spells to learn, Leanna comes in with a wide smile as in her hands is a contract calling for aid of a mage. So, yeah, so you're calling for the aid of a mage. This one is not coming from any specific book or anything. This is me just like sort of bullshitting and homebrewing a little bit of a thing that I do want to introduce as a sort of recurring and meta thing. Rex, seeing this, would read calling for calling for assistance of a magical nature. A mysterious... Give me a second again. Alright. So, mysterious and strange door has emerged. Calling for assistance of a magical nature. A mysterious and strange door has emerged from unknown origins. Requesting assistance from alright, so yeah, requesting assistance from adventurers or practitioners the vocation of mage, wizard, sorcerer, warlock, cleric, or druid. Alright, so calling for assistance of a magical nature, mysterious and strange doors emerge from unknown origins. Requesting assistance from adventurers or practitioners of the vocations of mage, wizard, sorcerer, warlock, cleric, or druid. Location is... Location is between the Friendly Arm Inn. Between the Friendly Arm Inn and the woods of Sharp Teeth. At XYZ coordinate. Alright, so there we go. As Rex is in his bastion in Baldur's Gate, the Delos estate, read potential spells to learn, Leanna comes in with a wide smile, as in her hands a contract calling for the aid of mages. mages, and magic users. Rex, seeing this contract, would read, calling for assistance of a magical nature. A mysterious and strange door has emerged from unknown origins, requesting assistance from adventurers or practitioners of the vocations of mage, wizard, sorcerer, warlock, cleric, or druid. Location is between the Friendly Arm Inn and the Woods of Sharp Teeth at XYZ coordinate. Alright, so Rex, looking at Leanna, would be curious and ask, mysterious door just emerged? Yeah, and it seemed... A mysterious door just emerged? Yeah, and it seems aberrant and unopenable. It seems aberrant and unopenable according... Alright, so, I'm gonna do the dialogue live right now instead, because I already got the... So this is what their conversation's gonna be like. So, this is Rex. So Rex will just ask, a mysterious door just emerged? Yeah, it seems aberrant and unopenable according to druids who pass by it. It's seemingly strangely attuned to nature? According to some of the other vocations that dropped by, at least the warlocks and clerics, it's definitely not of devilish origins, but it's not fully divine either. Warlocks can't seem to get a place on it, and apparently some patrons were trying to force the door open, but it just outright rejected them. Wizards and sorcerers that dropped by definitely confirmed one thing. It's heavily rooted in magic, but nobody knows how to open it. Want to drop by? I mean, it is outside of Baldur's Gate, and we are just a few days of travels from it. Sure, why not? I don't see what harm it could do in just looking at it. Alright. So, that's their little banter right there. Oh. Sorry, give me a sec. I gotta kill some alarms right now. So real quick. Yeah, this stream is probably gonna be ending in like a few days. Alright, yeah. Clerics confirm it's not fiendish or abyssal, but not divine either. Alright, so, it seems aberrant and unopenable according to druids who passed by it. Warlocks and their patrons have tried to open it, but failed. Clerics confirm it's not fiendish or abyssal, but not divine either. Sorcerers and wizards confirm more clearly that it's heavily rooted in magic and likely... Want to take a look at it? Alright, so Rex curious to the... Rex curious to the contract and... Alrighty, so... Alright. So, now that we've gotten some of the preamble and prelude out of the way, as well as some of the statistical jargon out, so, we're just gonna skip all the travel and any encounters that are there. We're just gonna say that he's already there. To which I'm also going to expend any... I'm gonna pay for any costs of rations and the like. Because, you know, it doesn't hurt to have more. So it's, what is it, like 0.5? So 0.5, so... So 0.5 times 7, I think it is. Oh, yeah. So 0.5 times 7 would be 35. Doesn't sound right. Oh, I know, I'm thinking about, sorry, it's 0.35, I think. So that would be 3 gold pieces, as well as... let me just do this real quick. I'm curious. Alright, so... give me a sec. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, because right now it's... Yeah, you know, let's just give 35 silver, I think, is what it is, right? So 35 silver pieces is what it's worth. Alright. Alright, so now that I've got some rations, as well as now that we're getting into it. Apart. Rex with Leanne. I don't have anything that could possibly fit what I'm gonna do right now. So what I'm gonna do instead is this, is just kind of sort of bull rush this a little bit, because I got a few things I gotta... Yeah, so... Rex with Leanna would arrive to the scene after days of travel. Before them is a small outpost. Set up in defending against this mysterious door. A guard barks out to them. Halt! State your business. To which... Sorry, I'm reading as I write. To which Rex would present the contract that was put out on the door. The guard would look at it with scrutiny, but relaxes as he calls his captain. I'm just gonna say that the captain is gonna be a dwarf, just because I had this idea planned out in my head a bit, so let's just go with that. A stout dwarf, cladded in plate, emerges as he greets Rex and Leanna. Hi, welcome to... Alright, hi, welcome to our little slice of... little slice of paradise, I suppose. Hear about the door. Rex and Leanne would nod in response as... Alright, so Rex and Leanna would nod in response, and the dwarf captain would guide them toward the site. 4 knights flank the door, watching. 4 knights flank the door, watching vigilantly for disruption. Alright, so 4 knights flank the door, watching vigilantly for signs of disruption. It's been about 2... I'm just gonna say... How much is a... Ah, shit. How much is a fortnight? I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that, right? Yeah. It's been about a fortnight since this door emerged. Since this door appeared. We received It's been about a fortnight since this door appeared. We received reports as soon as it appeared, and nobody's been able to open it. No amount of force, magic, or leverage would pry this bastard open. Alright. Rex would step forward and try to leverage his arcane knowledge via the Blade Song. He's not going to activate Blade Song, by the way. He's just going to be... Alright, so... because this is specifically... I'm going to say it's DC 1. Alright, so DC 1. No, well, actually, yeah, no. DC 1. I'm going to say DC 15. To activate DC 1 is for Rex. However, for understanding it, this is what will be rolled. To which it's just going to be Rex rolling, as he's the only one that that's up here for it. So let's see here. Ooh, now that's a pretty good one, actually. All right. All right, roll is 29. Equal 29. Roll Arcana 29. Pass. Azrex. Alright. Azrex exam. He senses a strange. He senses a strange and powerful pulse from the door. Yeah, my dog just came in. You want to head out? Alright. As he examines the door, he senses a strange and powerful pulse from the door. It's almost similar. More primal and powerful. Alright, as Rex examines the door, he senses a strange and powerful pulse from the door. It's almost similar to his own blade song, but more primal and powerful. As he traces it, he senses something calling to him. As he traces it, he senses something calling to him in a way that perhaps Alright, so as Rex examines the door, he senses a strange and powerful pulse from the door. It's similar to his own blade song, but more primal and powerful. As he traces it, he senses something calling him in a way that perhaps only other blade singers can sense, or in the way he was taught to sense the weave. As he finishes tracing it, suddenly the door stirs as if awakened to its purpose. As he finishes tracing it, suddenly the door stirs as if awakening to a presence it recognizes. The doors slide open, and with it, light spills outward, blinding Rex, Leanna, and the guards, the captain, and the knights. Alrighty, let's see here. Alrighty. Alrighty, so This is me pretty much now declaring that this is now a whole different thing, to which, let me see here. Now I'm just going to be using just like a bunch of dungeon maps I got. So let me see if I got anything that would fit what I'm thinking right now. Give me a second. Because right now I have invoked I have developed and came up with the idea to get more fate points, as well as like have like a more sandbox approach to it, which is the Blackmoor dungeon, in which this will be an exploration of Blackmoor effectively, as well as also a way of also doing a planescape, a transition to hopefully maybe do a planescape thing. So yeah, give me a second though to try and see. Let me see, where is my stuff? Damn it. Where's my DM? There we go. Free City Greyhawk. No, I don't want Greyhawk. I want something else. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. All right. Oh, this is just the same. Yeah, you know, this actually fits a little bit, though. This fits a bit more, the more abstract nature of it, I guess. So that works. Let me see, I'm just going to do a quick... I'm just going to do a quick preamble, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to do some quick setup, as well as afterwards probably... maybe do a quick wrap up? No, actually, maybe I could spare like 15 minutes at least. Ooh, now this is something. Okay. Oh, that's a brazier, though. Alright. Fine, be that way, game. How's this? A sky skiff. Okay. Got like all sorts of stuff here, though. Actually, I want to try and place this somewhere where I think would kind of make sense a little bit. Well, actually, yeah, may as well. Alrighty. Alright, so this is just, again, me coming off this raw. So, as Rex, as the light dies down, Rex finds himself alone. Let me see, which would be a... yeah. Alright, so, as light dies down, Rex finds himself alone in a room of sleek aesthetics. That's not how I don't think that's how you spell aesthetics, because there we go. Aesthetics. Yeah, there you go. Aesthetics. Alright. So, Rex finds himself in a room of in a room of sleek aesthetics. Alright, so yeah, passive insight. So passive insight 15. Alright, so passive insight 15. Actually, I should probably put that in quotation there. Passive insight 15. Rex is able to deduce that he opened the door. Rex deduces that he opened the door, to which it teleported him somewhere. That. Alright, so yeah. Rex deduces that he opened the door, to which it teleported him somewhere that. Alright, so Rex deduces that he opened the door, to which it teleported him somewhere that was elsewhere in the world, or perhaps, given the confirmed information he had prior, to a different plane. The door behind him is... The door behind him is exactly like the door. Turning to open... Alright, turning to open the door. Empty and ransacked, as if... Alright, as if it was once a storage space, but... Alright, so... The door behind him is exactly like the door he was investigating. Turning to open the doors, reveal a room empty and ransacked, as if once it was a storage space. Confused and lost... Confused and lost on what to do, Rex... Alrighty. Alright, so now we can actually get... Alrighty, so now that we got the preamble out of the way, so right now, what Rex sees in front of him is, well, this entire place is completely and utterly barren. But as he is looking around, this room, I will say... Alright. Alright, so the room Rex is in... Now I'm just gonna... Yeah, so I'm just gonna relay the information back. So, as Rex is in this room, he sees that before it was... Yeah, he sees that in here it's effectively almost a storage space. It's ransacked, empty boxes and like swiped over tables litter that room. In here, it's almost the same, but with strange boxes with a black sheen over them. He doesn't understand what it is or what purpose it serves, but perhaps it was meant to transcribe something, given that there's a series of letters in front of it. Looking around in this room as well reveals. So, yes. Looking around in this room also shows some graphs and map, but they don't mean anything to Rex in terms of his understanding of what he sees. And so, he will try to leave, to which this door. So the door will open, and one moment. I don't want. Alright, let me try speaking a little bit lower now. Because I got someone on the phone outside. Anyway, so yeah. Alright, so Rex will open the door, to which it is unlocked, in which he finds more scattered and ruined spaces. Although it seems here specifically, it seems like there was a source of conflict. In fact, as Rex is moved, to which I'll make this note now. As Rex leaves the room he was in, more of the same of strange boxes. But, yeah, so he would find a dead body. One that has been there for a considerable amount of time, given the decay. Alrighty, so it's clear to some degree that Rex is the first living being to come through here after some considerable time. Okay, so yeah. As far as this room descriptor goes, there's nothing of real remark about it, though. There is just a dead body that was decayed for a considerable amount of time, more of those strange boxes with black sheens and alphabets in front of them, papers strewn about, and, of course, most prominently enough, dust just permeating the air. In fact, now that Rex thinks about it and realizes, the torches in this place aren't really torches, as they seem to be encased in a strange bulb and are hanged in close up to the ceiling. It's strange to him as this place has some light and flickers on and off. So as Rex is exploring, he will exit through here, to which I will say that this area point here where I'm going to ping him now. Yeah, so this area point specifically was like sort of barricaded a bit by barricaded by furniture of this room. To which Rex would see more obviously a way up from there. However, there's light coming from here as well. To which, again, because I'm kind of sort of blitzing and rushing this a little bit, Rex will tentatively approach this area, in which he finds this circle. Yes. So he finds this circle, and before it, what seems to be how do I describe it? Finds a podium with what he sees as a there's a tablet with the same black sheen that was on those strange boxes. As Rex approaches the podium and the tablet, it comes to life. Alright, so alright, a podium with a tablet with the same black sheen in the boxes. Alrighty. Alright. Tentatively approaching it, Rex sees it come to life. Alright, so let me recap that. Let me roll it back. Leaving the room prior to where the body was found, Rex comes into another where he sees the way out up ahead. However, to his side, he also sees a strange sight. A podium with a tab with the same black sheen of the boxes in the room prior, and it's made prominent. Tentatively approaching it, he sees as it comes to life, as though that. Alright, so comes to life. It seemingly asks for a handprint. To which the script is in common, asking for alright. Okay. Alright, so tentatively approaching it, Rex sees the tablet come to life as it seems to be asking for a handprint, to which the script is in common, asking for commence binding summon. Oh boy, yeah, no, this is my way of saying I'm probably ditching party members a little bit in favor of summon, to which I'm gonna do some serious bullshit right now, but I'm gonna burn fate points over it to pretty much drive home a point a little bit. Alright, Rex looking around with Alright, so DC for this is going to be 20, that's for sure. Alrighty. DC 20, the first one of its kind right now. I'm gonna roll Arcana to it. Oh my fucking god, who could have foreseen this? Fucking hell. Okay. Fucking nat 20. Okay, so god damn it. Fuck. Walter Rex, the machination in front of him is strange. Alright, so Walter Rex, the machination in front of him is strange, and tapping into the weave, he senses what it claims to be true. It is a summoning circle, and one that is potentially powerful to summon and bind. To whomever. Alright, so I was not expecting that nat 20. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, while to Rex the machination in front of him is strange and foreign, tapping into the weave, he senses what it claims to be true. It is a summoning circle, and one that is potentially powerful enough to both summon and bind whatever comes through to whomever places their hand on the tablet. Rex is apprehensive. But given the unknown factor of him being alone and Alright. Rex is apprehensive to use such a device, but given the unknown factor of him being alone and unsure where he is at, an ally bound to serve him in his desperate would be necessary. To which, placing his hand on the tablet, he would feel it. Alright, so Rex is apprehensive to use such device, but given the unknown factor of him being alone and unsure where he is at, an ally bound to serve him in his desperate time would be necessary. To which he places his hand. To which Rex would place his hand on the tablet. And he would feel it demand an arcane an arcane surge from him. Alright, so I need to now roll. Alright, so for this instance, roll again for. Yeah, roll again. Ooh, 15. But this is a skill check specifically, so I'm going to burn my heroic inspiration for this one, see if I get a higher result, because I'm going to explain what I'm going to be doing. 27. Alright. Alrighty, so I'm gonna now roll a d20, see what I get. Ooh, 19. Okay, so this is where we get into a bit more interesting territory now, cause So, this is a summoning circle, to which, as I mentioned before, this is pretty much my way of getting actually getting an NPC companion over me creating like a bunch of player characters, because for the most part, I am going to be removing some of them, not because they're not needed, but just because after a certain period of time, I'm currently subscribed to D&D Beyond's membership, to which I'm going to cancel soon. So that means I got to remove some characters. So this is kind of sort of my way of like sort of reworking how I'm approaching this right now. In which, because I am rolling all this. Alright, so formula for summoning. This is the summoning. So 1d20 plus Arcana check divided by 5. Equal result. Alright, result to that number. So in this case, 1d20 plus 27 divided by 5, to which it's 25. It's 25 technically, so that'd be by 5, but let's see if I could get a round up. I am going to account for that, so 27 divided by 5, 0.4, so it's going to be, yeah, so it's just, so I'm rounding down on that one. If it's above 5, then it's round up. If it's below 5, then round down. But in this case, yeah, so equals 2, so alright, so let's see here. I'm just going to punch in the results here. So I'm going to punch in the results here, so it's 19. I should probably do the results for the other stuff too. So 19, 5, so it's just literally simple addition. Equals to CR. CR 24. Yay! CR24 summon, to which I now get to choose from the monster manual. I have one chosen as well. I'm gonna put this down. First summon. Yeah. Alright, so real quick, I actually did do a quick check on like what is the CR rating for like some of the creatures. Let me see. I know I had it like here somewhere. Oh, give me a sec. D&D CR creature list. So I'm kind of sort of using the sidekick ruling, but instead I'm just straight up using the monsters. So I can go up to a CR of 24. So so like I said, my summon rating right now can go only up to CR 24, in which this is me rolling a D20 and combining my divided by 5 Arcana check, to which I got a 27, so that comes out to like 5.4. So that, rounding it down because it's not above 5, or 0.5 rather, so that's just a straight 5, so that means I get, combine that with 24. So, God. So I actually had this planned out before a little bit, not the rolls, because obviously I was going to pretty much like, I am and was going to use fate points, but because I rolled this, yeah, it's just gonna be like this, I guess. So, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, what do I want as my first summon right now? Because CR24 means I can get an ancient dragon, specifically an ancient gold or red dragon. Fucking hell. An ancient gold dragon / red dragon as a summon. So I would also throw out there, theoretically, I could also summon a Tarask as my first summon, to which that is so fucked. I am going to expand on this a bit more and try to explain this as I go along, but yeah, so in either case, I'm going to choose the Solar as my first summon. I was legit gonna burn fate points over this, but yeah, I was legit gonna just burn fate points to get this, just to show a point, but because this just fucking happened. But yeah, because this just happened, yeah, it's just... Oh god. Oh my god, this is just so cracked. I gotta figure out how to add this Solar as a companion though, but yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna write out and read out this segment. So as Rex channels arcane energy into the tablet, the machine pulls back and reveals the summoning circle. Oh, give me a sec. The machine pulls back and reveals the summoning circle that is being used. As Rex focuses, alright, as Rex focuses, pouring the energy required. Alright, give me a sec. As Rex focuses, pouring the arcane energy required into the tablet, he sees as the circle flickers and shudders as it changes rapidly. As it changes rapidly from blue to red to chromatic. Actually, I'm curious, what is the god's... I'm curious now. D&D god CR rating. I want to know what their stats are, cause... Now, Now I'm just laughing my ass off. I could summon a Tarask. However, I could also summon fucking Tiamat if I wanted to. That'd be funny, but I am gonna say off rip, I am barring that exemption. CR30! I can summon Tiamat, guys! Actually, I'm curious. Igwith, what's her stat block? I'm curious now, because she's also got a stat block. I summon Igwith, the Witch Queen. No. No, though. That'd be funny, but no, I will say this, I am barring, like, summoning actual, like, named characters. So I can't just summon Vecna out of my ass cheeks and just freaking whatever. It has to be like a generic character slash monster type that I can actually modify and customize. Alright, so that's my barring and that's my rule right now. I cannot summon Igwith, I cannot summon Vecna, and I can't summon other stuff. I can, however, still technically summon a Tarask. I'm curious, what are CR30 monsters, though? Let's see. I really want to know. No, it's just a Tarask. That's it. That's unfortunate. Actually, let me see. Is there any other? Nope, just a Tarask. Anything else is a god. Alright, so as Rex focuses pouring the arcane energy required into the tablet, he sees the circle flicker and shudder as it changes rapidly from blue, red, to chromatic, to then finally gold. Cracks. The sound of glass cracking can be heard as the sound of glass cracking and shattering can be heard as I'm just gonna go off rip. This is the character in question I had in mind, but yeah. Comes forth a tall and powerful bathed in light. Call a tall, powerful figure bathed in light. Bindings appear on Rex's forearms, and bindings the light before tightening. See you in 580. Alright, give me a second. I'm going to close my door actually, because I am going to be wrapping up fully. One sec. Bindings appear on Rex's forearm. I'm just going to say his right forearm. And bindings appear around the light before tightening to certain points. As when the light dies down, it is to be a golden woman, armed with bow and sword in hand, and clothed in rope Alright, there we go. Bindings appear on Rex's right forearm, and bindings appear around the light before tightening to certain points as the light dies down. It is revealed to be as when the light dies down, it is revealed to be a golden woman, armed with a bow and sword in hand, clothed in flowing robes. Rex is shocked at what was called from the summoning circle. In which roll? Alright, in this case, let's see if Rex knows what he just summoned. Let's see here. Ooh, one short. I will say, though, he will understand what it is he summoned a little bit, but not a lot. Arcana roll 19 fail. Alright. Rex is shocked at what was called forth from the summoning circle. As looking at the woman, he's both in awe and frightened at the sight of her. Rex he feels immense power. He feels immense power and divine magic radiate from her. Alright. Yeah, so let me see what I've written right now. Bindings appear on Rex's right forearm, and bindings appear around the light before tightening at certain points. As when the light dies, is revealed to be a golden woman, armed with a bow and sword in hand, and clothed in flowing robes. Rex is shocked at what was called forth from the summoning circle. DC 20 check, to which Arcana roll failed, 19. As looking at the woman, he is both in awe and frightened at the sight of her. He feels immense powerful and divine magic radiate from her. Alrighty. Alright. As looking at the woman, he is both in awe and frightened at the sight of her. He feels immense, powerful, and divine magic radiate from her, but cannot discern if what he summoned was a god or something close to one. Cheese Drip says, yo, hey, yo, Cheese Drip, Happy New Year, I think. Yeah. It's the new year and all that. It's, well, 2 weeks into the new year and all that, but hope you're doing well, because I'm doing okay. Alright. The woman sees Cheeser's great. Had a birthday, drama clubs, getting to work on a musical. Oh, that's great. Alright, so the woman sees Rex, and her eyes bear wrathful fervor. Alright. The woman sees Rex. And her eyes bear wrathful fervor as she goes to strike him down. But as she moves against him, her blade falls deftly short from actually hitting him. He's in shock and horror. Is in shock and horror as the is so close to him. He's in shock and horror as the woman's blade is so close to him. He falls to his knees as his right hand the woman is clearly angry and sorry, can't stay too long. Got work to do and songs to practice. Hope I get the part I want. Good luck to you, Cheese Derp. Hope you get the part you desire and wish. And yeah, not just that. Because, well, if I say more, you're going to get more responsibility too. So just work your way up to that if you feel more comfortable with that. Either way, good luck to you. The woman is clearly angry and effing trying to end Rex, but I could still stick around, though. Perhaps have you in the background while I do notes? I'm about to wrap up myself, so if you gotta dip and focus, I would suggest that. Still, it's a pleasure to see you again, Cheese Derp, and like I said, good luck to you. Alright, so, the woman is clearly angry and efforting to trying to end Rex, but the bindings on her prevent her as they draw her to the circle, and they begin spinning rapidly. Comes to what seems Rex watches the woman struggle, and before long, the circle and machine come to what seems to be a climax as on her glow brightly and clearly. Let's see. No, that doesn't. That's too. I feel like that's too whatever. So. All right. So, Rex watches the woman struggles as before long, the circle and the machine come to what seems to be a climax, as the bindings on her glow brightly and clearly, before settling like a The machine dies down in both energy and Alright. The machine dies down in both energy and maintenance. Alright. Okay, so Rex watches the woman. Yeah, so the machine dies down in both energy and maintenance, as when finished, it seemingly collapsed, unable to be used again. Rex stands up and circle 2 to find it too. Alright, so Rex stands up and looks at the circle to find it too has seemingly died, as the markings that made it powerful finally fade and succumb to time. Turning his attention to the golden woman. Alright, turning his attention to the golden woman, Rex sees her breathing heavily as her attention turns onto him. As she speaks. Let me see, does... Oh no, okay, no, he doesn't have celestial. Alright. Turning his attention to the golden woman, Rex sees her breathing heavily before her attention turns onto him as she speaks and as a loud song. Covering his ears, Rex before the woman. Covering his ears, Rex is stunned before the woman. Alright, so here we go. Alrighty. Okay, so turning his attention to the golden woman, Rex sees her breathing heavily before her attention turns onto him as she speaks in what be best described as a loud song. Covering his ears, Rex is stunned before the woman then pins him to the wall and asks in common, "What have you done, mortal? Why have you summoned me?" To which, I'm going to end that there. Alright, so that's the end of that right now. So, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this, guess more statistical solo D&D game. For the most part, it's kind of interesting of how I'm doing this a little bit. In the sense of, the fact that there's a lot more note-taking and me kind of sort of like writing a story. Which, to be honest, I kind of sort of expect a little bit to how this whole thing was gonna pan out in the first place, because before it was like statistical note-taking, now it's like actual like sort of story writing, which I feel like with the amount of dead air I have in between, it is kind of sort of like just streaming me writing a story. Yeah, me writing like a book and story, which to be fair D&D is all about, but at the same time it feels like it's just like that a little bit. So yeah, so real quick before I end things off fully, so yeah, I did actually come up with this solution like earlier this morning and sort of yesterday, because I was like watching anime. Yeah, I know, surprise. That being said though, the fact of the matter is I did think about it a little bit and kind of sort of wanted to try out to see what it was like to have a NPC companion and party over a full-on like a full-on like PC party, to which I would have had to track like a lot of more stat sheets. And so, yeah, that's kind of sort of the reason why I had the solar as a summon first, because the stats that the solar has is really, really strong. Like off rip, has high charisma, high strength, high dex, high con, high intelligence, high wisdom, divine awareness, and all sorts of like other stuff that makes it immortal effectively. The legendary actions I won't use until like tier 3 or 4. So right now, the only thing that really does matter is specifically the actions it has. So, yeah, that's sort of the plan right now. I am gonna do, so I am going to, I'm trying to think of the right word to describe it. I am going to be running the Solar as Rex's de facto main companion. I was going to do a player character, but because I don't think that works too well, and because I am running XP, I do want to run like full XP for Rex specifically, and sort of like avoid dividing it up a little bit. So that's the idea a little bit. I am going to give the Solar a name, to which it is going to be likely Iris, and yeah. I'll do some more explaining another time and another day, as I gotta get going. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll see you in the next one, that being whenever I stream again. Hopefully being this week, but maybe next week. Till then, take